Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a wear test on the new Hourglass Vanish foundation, and the shade that I have is a shade Beige. Now, if you're wondering where I got this, Sephora was actually giving out a deluxe size sample of this with a $25 purchase. So let me tell you guys, I bought some Sephora wipes because I'm like, I need to try this. And this is what it looks like on. I did set it with a powder the same way that I would with any of my other foundations. And I have to say, so far, it looks really good. I'm going to do another demo of this in this video using a sponge because today I just used their foundation brush, which is what they recommend, but I want to see what kind of coverage I can get from a sponge. So far I'm really enjoying it, and I'm going to wear this all day today. I'm going to push it to the max and see how long I can wear it. So if you want to see how this wears and what my thoughts are on this, then let's go. Alright guys, I am super excited, but today we're going to be using the new Hourglass foundation, and the shade that I have is Beige, which is one of the shades that I wear. So I'm just going to, take a few swipes of this and see how it goes. I don't have any primer on because they recommend not using a primer, and I actually have their foundation stick. So we are going to see how this works. Alright guys, so I definitely need a little more. I'm going to actually work with one side at a time because I find that it dries pretty quickly. So we're just going to take one side at a time, and I'm going to build this up quite a bit. But the color I'm loving, which of course, right? It's one of the shades I wear. Alright guys, now that has coverage. That looks really good. I really like it. As you guys can see, like, the match is really good. I love it. All right, let's move on to the other side. I'm gonna add just a little more coverage on my cheeks, just because I have some hyperpigmentation that I like to, on occasion, hide or cover, and I think that that's really an indicator of how much we can build. Man, my hand looks so pale. This foundation. All right, so I'm liking it a lot. Let's just see how this wears. So I have enough to wear this a few more times, and I'm actually going to film it again tomorrow, but using a sponge. But we'll do our check-ins today and we'll see how it wears. But so far I'm really liking it, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and we'll come and do our check-in, our first check-in. As of now, it is 5:55 in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, it is now 6:13 in the morning. I have to head out, and I'm still eating my breakfast, so I didn't put any lipstick on. I have to say, I really like the way that this foundation is looking. I have a little smudge down here that I'm waiting to dry so I can, shall I say that I'm liking it more than the stick? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right now looking at it, I think I do. I think I like it a little bit more because I find that the stick takes a little bit longer to dry. This set pretty quickly, but I still set it with a powder because it's what I normally do. So I wanted to give it a fair shot and treat it the same way that I would any other foundation. So far we're off to a good start. Stick with me and we'll see how this wears throughout the day. All right guys, it is now 4 o'clock. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I feel like this foundation wears exactly the same as the Vanish Stick foundation. The only difference is that when I first applied this foundation this morning, I felt like it was more of a matte finish. When I wear my Vanish Stick, I feel like it always looks a little bit more dewy, just like natural skin. There's a little creasing that's happening right here, like in the inner corner of my eye. So I'm seeing that there's a little bit of creasing happening here and here and a little bit here. And as you guys can see, this has worn. It happens. My nose always wears off. But I'm just seeing that there is slightly more dewiness and creasing happening, where I feel like with my Vanish Stick, I feel like it starts to look this luminous after wearing it for this long. It's been 11 hours. It's been almost 11 hours. It's been about 10 and a half hours already. And I'm just seeing, again, just some creasing here, separation, which is weird because that's not typical for me. So again, I am going to be wearing this tomorrow and I'll demo it again. And then we'll give you guys my final thoughts. But I think just to be fair, I do want to be able to wear this at least one other time because today was the first time that I wore this. So we're gonna finish today and then we'll move on to tomorrow. All right, guys, this is the final check-in. It is 9:02 and I've officially had this on for about 15 hours and I had my glasses on, so that's what the peeling is. But as you guys can see, it's definitely come off around the nose. The makeup's moved because of my glasses. I have a lot of it that's worn off in the center, really like the lower center part of my face. My forehead still looks pretty good. It's a little shiny, but I've had it on for 15 hours. My blush is kind of still on. I mean, it's time to take it off, but I have to say it's worn pretty well. Not anything that's out of the ordinary. I do see that my makeup is kind of bunched up over here. There's like, it looks like, almost like if I had just kind of moved everything to that little outer corner. My mascara is smudging. Like, it's time to get this makeup off. But overall, I have to say that it has worn really beautifully throughout the day. I can't wait to try it again tomorrow with a sponge. And also, I'm gonna try to bake tomorrow. Today I just did like a light dusting of powder, but I'm actually gonna try and bake it and see if I can get it to wear just a little better. But I will come back and give you guys my final thoughts on this product. But so far, so good. I feel like it's definitely worth trying again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you want to see how this looks with baking and with the sponge application, then let's go. All right, guys, so this is day 2 of the Hourglass Vanish foundation, and this morning we are going to use a sponge. Not only a sponge, but a sponge I know that will take this product a long way. So we are going to put it to the test. I'm going to do one side at a time, and then I'm going in with the Juno & Co sponge, and already look at that, bam! All right. I like the way it looks. It looks really smooth and even. I'm going to go in with one more layer just around my cheeks. And then whatever's left over, I'm going to bring that up into the rest of my face. So I feel like, no, it's definitely the foundation. Has a little bit of a fragrance I just picked up on. It's not anything that's like super obvious. And it's not my sponge, because when I smell the sponge here, there's nothing, but here there's a little bit almost of a, like a light paint smell, which is weird. There we have it, homies. Let's do the other side. I love the way it's looking. It's really covered. It looks very glowy, just like natural skin. I like the way this looks, and I don't have a primer on. I like the way this looks versus what we had yesterday with the brush. I mean, it looked nice, but I can see the difference just in how it looks. Ooh, I don't want to get foundation on my sweater. I have a really busy day at work today, so I'm gonna take pictures throughout the day, and I'll make sure to timestamp them so that way you can see how the foundation is wearing throughout the day. I don't think I'm gonna be wearing this past my work day or my work shift, maybe no later than like 6 or 7. I'm gonna take a little bit more on my cheeks. I really need to exfoliate. I see, you know, maybe what I had yesterday in the inner corners of my eye wasn't the foundation actually moving, but settling into texture. I can see that I have a little bit of texture there, which is weird. I have a concealer that I've been trying for about 2 weeks now, actually, and it's the Makeup Forever HD concealer. This is in the shade 34. We're gonna use this today because it's a medium coverage, but it's so hydrating. It feels so good when you put it on your face or your under eyes. Like, it feels so cooling, just like a gel. And I really love the way this concealer looks. The reason why I ended up getting it was because you guys know I need a concealer, like a hole in the head. I tried it on a lady that came in to Sephora. She was looking for a Bare Minerals concealer, the one in the little pot, which is like a pretty thick and dry consistency. And she was older. She had lines under her eyes and, you know, just some wrinkles. And as soon as she put it on, she's like, this is it, this is perfect. And I'm like, can I recommend something else? Because, and I was honest with her, I told her it accentuated the dryness and the texture under her eyes, and that it just wasn't flattering on her, that it made her look older. And so she was like, well, this is what I've been using for years. And you know how it is when you have a product that you have been wearing for a really long time and you don't really know anymore if it's that you really do love it or just comfort of knowing that that's what you've had for so many years. So I said, well, let me show you something else. And I tried this on her because I knew when I came in the morning, I had a coworker that kept talking about it, and I'm like, let me try it out. So I put it on her, and she's like, well, let's do the other eye with the Bare Minerals. I'm like, okay. This concealer blurred the crap out of her under eyes. Like, it did not have any creasing. It looked smooth. It looked bright. The color was exactly the same as the one that she had from the Bare Minerals, but everything just looked so smooth. And then she had larger pores around here, so I brought it down when I was blending it without the intention of it blurring her actual pores. But then she's like, do you see that? I'm like, mm-hmm. So she switched over. She was so happy. It was a little bit of a price difference, but she was like, totally worth it. I'm like, yep. Alright guys, so this is what that's looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup. I'll come back and we will check in. Alright guys, so this is what the foundation looks like after powdering. I have on blush, highlighter. I haven't put on my lipstick because I'm drinking cafe. So I have to say that it looks good. It looks the same that it looks the same as the Vanish stick would look like once I've set it with powder. So you will see some pictures inserted after this clip to show you how the foundation has weared throughout the day, and then I will be back to give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, let's talk business and let's discuss this little foundation. So it is a beautiful foundation that wears amazing throughout the day. It is the same kind of wear, coverage, and high quality product as the Vanish stick. The only difference I find is that the liquid version of this foundation tends to be a little bit more on the matte side, and I feel as though the stick gives you more of a dewy finish. But for me, I prefer the matte finish because my T-zone can get a little oily, and that's where I start to see some of the separating of the foundation. You know, any issues in terms of my skin disturbing the foundation will always be in my T-zone. So I find that the liquid lasts just slightly longer and wears slightly better than the stick. Now, that's not to say that the stick is not a great product, because if you guys saw my yearly favorites, then you'll know it's one of my favorite foundations, and I swear to you guys, it's one of my favorite foundations, which is why I was so excited to try the liquid. I am definitely going to pick this up as soon as I can. It is really beautiful. I love the way my skin looks. I also find that you get way more coverage from the liquid version than you do the Vanish stick. The Vanish stick gives you just medium coverage off the bat, and it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely beautiful. But how many times have you not seen a video, including mine, where you're just basically covering the entire face with foundation to get full coverage? It's what people do, and the reason is because you're not going to get full coverage with just one swipe. You're not. So with this foundation, what they're saying is that half a pump would give you full coverage. And I mean, I don't know because I can't squirt this out. It's literally a little spatula when you open it. But I do find myself making several lines on my face and then blending it out. I also find that this sets really quickly. So I work with half of my face, blend it out, and then move on to the other half. In my first demo, I believe I did both sides of my face, and I did find that it was a little harder to work with because it was already kind of dry. I find that both the liquid and the stick wear about the same. So after 7-8 hours, I start to see fading my chin, which you guys can see here, my nose, just like the outsides of the insides of my cheek, I should say. And that's in part because of eating, drinking, cleaning my face, blowing my nose, you name it, it's all there. So they recommend that you use this product with their foundation brush, which I had it, so I used it, and it did a nice job. I have no complaints. But this sponge here, which is the Juno and Coast sponge, it's one of my favorite products right now, guys. I absolutely love this sponge because it gives you incredible coverage. Your sponge does not absorb the product. It literally sits right on the top. You're able to get the max coverage from any product with the least amount of product. I think I prefer this because it also left my skin looking really flawless and airbrushed, which is just how the sponge works. Like, this sponge is amazing, guys. It's $6, and that's all I'm gonna say. If you ask me what my preference is, I'm going to tell you the liquid because I'm getting more coverage from the liquid than I do the actual foundation stick. Again, I find myself, you know, going in with several layers to get the max coverage. Both don't feel heavy on the skin. You do end up using less product with the liquid than you do with the stick. I think this foundation is not long wearing. You can wear it for a full work day. I think after 7-8 hours you start to see a little bit of the wear, but if you're somebody that doesn't mind touching up, it's not going to be a big deal. But if you're like me and you really don't touch up, then you may either want to consider touching up or just keep this to a foundation that you would only wear if you're going to have a standard 7 to 9 hour day. If you are somebody that really likes a long wearing foundation that takes a little bit longer to break down, then I would definitely tell you that this is not going to be it unless you are a dry skin type. If you are oily or normal, you're going to find that you'll start to see some bunching or some separation or fading. But again, if you're just wanting, you know, 7 to 9 hour coverage, and I think you'll really enjoy this foundation. It is very light. Both formulations are super light. They don't feel like you have a ton of makeup on. They don't feel heavy on the skin. You really, you know, can't detect it unless you go in with like, you know, several layers or powder. But if you're just going to wear the foundation on its own, it's very light. It's a nice thin consistency and it's absolutely beautiful. I have to say that I'm not disappointed in this product, but I honestly was not expecting to be disappointed with this because Hourglass makes fantastic products. They are an amazing brand. I really love them. And I also find that they may not have a ton of product coming out. They're not like constantly pushing product or coming out with like, you know, trendy items. This is the line that's going to give you classic items, staple items, and really fantastic quality. I don't have an issue recommending products from Hourglass because I know that just consistently across the board you're going to get a really high quality product that really works with any skin. The other nice thing about these foundations is that they don't accentuate any lines or texture in the skin. I just think it's one of those products that you can use, you know, if you're a teenager or if you're, you know, someone that's a little bit more mature. It just looks like beautiful, high quality products that really emphasize the beauty of skin, honestly. So with that being said, I am a fan of this foundation and I'm not surprised that I am a fan. And I look forward to actually having a full-size bottle of it. The actual bottle itself, from what I've been able to see, is stunning. Like, it's not a square shape. It's not, it has just like a little bit of a curvature to it. And I mean, it just looks very luxurious, but what would you expect from Hourglass? And I would say for the price, you better get something that feels really luxe and fancy. I love how simplistic their packaging is, but it's also, I very much enjoy that their packaging is very sleek, simple, sophisticated, luxe, and you can see where your money is going. You can see that it's going into great product and just really beautiful packaging. Please be sure to like this video, leave a comment down below if you have any questions or comments, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.